Welcome, gamers, to this week's episode of Last Call Gaming. We're in episode number 217. Today is June 21st. My name is Craig Perales, and joining me behind the desk today, my friend and yours, Cien Vargas.
What's going on, guys? Good to be back.
It's good to be back. We were just kind of talking off camera. I was like, when's the last time we actually did an ep together? At least one that was just him and I, and it was episode 161, where you and I did Hogwarts Legacy review. And in my opinion, it's still in my top 5 favorite episodes of the show.
I still watch it every once in a while.
Nice.
Call me conceited.
Call me conceited. So, just let everyone know, you came down. I haven't seen Cien in, I think, it was almost been since the end of last year. He came over, and I saw his Christmas present that he unwrapped and stuff. So, how are things been, man? How are you? How's life? How's family?
It's been good. Living in Phoenix, so
playing the Switch 2 all day.
Playing the Switch 2 all day. Have a 4-year-old, household, working, fucking nonstop. But
just making that, rocking that beard, looking clean, looking supple.
Trying.
You had to go see Andrew. So again, guys, Andrew had his newborn Mateo. Hey, this light's for him. So we gave him, I'm giving him as much time as we can to have him off and relax, be a dad. Geno was on with me last week. Cien just happened to work out perfectly, came down, and he's on this week. Hopefully I can have another guest host for the next episode. But and you didn't get a chance to see Andrew at all yet?
I didn't. My kid's sick, so I didn't want to get his kid sick. I know how that can be. Didn't want to stress him out even
definitely
more.
For newborns.
I know.
So, nice to catch up with you, man, and we're going to go check out some game stores and have something to eat after this. So, it's a really packed, Cien-filled week. So, guys, if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, and ring the notification bell. If you guys are interested in following us on social media, make sure you check out our Linktree link in the description. That'll take you to our Facebook page. That'll take you to our Instagram. I think Casey had our Discord locked to invite. I think I'm going to open that up just so we can try to get new people into the Discord. And if you guys are listening to the audio-only version of this podcast, you can check us out on your podcast platform of choice. But I do want to give a shout-out to, if you guys are in Bullhead City, and I'm going to take Cien to go check this place out, is go check out Game Over Video Games. They're on 1812 Highway 95, Suite 10. There's lots of stuff you can find there. They've got games, they've got toys, they've got collectibles, they've got comics. They do a little bit of everything. The cup that Cien's actually using right now, which matches the theme of the show, we got there. This one here is from them. So if you guys are in town, make sure you go check them out. So before we dive into our main stories, we're going to do a little off the top, and that's going to be just kind of giving a big shout out to Stellar Blade, which just recently did its port over on PC, and it's doing fantastic. So if you guys aren't familiar with Stellar Blade is a 2024 action-adventure game developed by Shift Up and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. Players take control of the protagonist Eve as she embarks on a mission to save humanity from a relentless war against the Natibas in a distant future. It launched on April 26, 2024. Now, I share games with Andrew on Xbox, but Cien is the person I share with on PS5. So it is a game I bought. You didn't get a chance. Have you dabbled in it at all?
I haven't dabbled it. I've read a little bit about it, but not much. I mean, after kind of going over it with you a little bit, kind of piques my interest a little bit in what I've read. So
because a lot of people look at it as a Souls-like game, but it is kind of more God of War meets kind of like a Souls-like game. And I didn't even beat it till January, but I did just want to give it a shout out that it's doing fantastic. And Stellar Blade has sold very well. It reached over 3 million copies sold across all platforms. The game achieved 1 million sales on PC within its first 3 days of release. So if you think about that, the 2 million it sold over a year versus the 1 million it sells on PC within 3 days just goes to show there's a lot of money you leave on the table when you don't do PC. Now I understand that consoles, you want to have the exclusivity with it, and Stellar Blade is a second party game. They don't really own the IP in the way that they do kind of a Helldivers 2, but it's doing fantastic. And I think there is something to be said where a game comes out on console, give it a year, right? If the sales dry up, launch it on PC. How do you feel about that? A lot, because that is happening a lot now with a lot of games.
Well, like you mentioned, because it's not like an original IP, might as well launch it at other platforms and see how it does, right? Get that, kind of fan base a little bit more wide open.
Wide
open, baby. But I've heard great things about it. I've even heard some people, mention it in saying that it's kind of like a near automata.
Yeah, it definitely has vibes.
I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah, right? I know. You got me to play it.
Yeah, so if it's something like that and something I kind of miss, playing, maybe I'll dive into it, but might as well just open it up, have a new fan base introduced to it.
A fan base that took up a third of the audience.
Exactly. So get it wide open, get it, to all these other platforms. I mean, the Switch 2 came out. Maybe it runs great on that platform too.
That'd be nice.
So, kind of gets that extra sales going on there too.
Yeah, and it was cool because one of the things that showed off is that it had a max player count of 183,830. Now, wherever that number sits with you, just to show Sony games going into PC, the next closest game to that was Ghost of Tsushima, which was only at 77,000.
Yeah.
So Stellar Blade doubled a game that I would argue most people know over it. Like Ghost of Tsushima, everyone's waiting for Ghost of Yote, where a game like Stellar Blade came out. Now, there's a lot of kind of controversy about like, it's very sexualized. It's because you remember what she looked like. She had a lot of kind of outfits that made her sexualized and things like that. And I'm sure when it comes to the PC gamers, because you also get a lot of mods when you get PC gamers playing and stuff like that. Yeah. But one of the things I was reading this chart, and they were pointing out all these games that have all these sexual experiences. They're like Baldur's Gate 3, 5 to 8, Mass Effect 2 to 3. I think I had another one written down. Dragon Age Velguard, 5 to 6. All these sexual scenes. Stellar Blade had none. And it's getting all this backlash. And it's like, dude, you can literally fuck a bear in Baldur's Gate 3. And but nobody's raising an eyebrow. But everyone is giving shit to Stellar Blade because she's wearing provocative clothing. So I'm glad it didn't hurt the sales at all when it launched to PC. And good on them, because that is a really good sign that PlayStation is doing really well with a PC audience.
Yeah, and I mean, that's why they have the ratings, right? To each their own.
Their own.
You know how to read. You know what's going to happen in these games, right?
You know what your eyeballs do?
Yeah, you have your eyes, right? You know exactly what these trailers are showing, so don't know why that's a big deal, but I'm all in it.
I would love for you to get on Stellar Blade. And like I said, the beginning, I saw Cien off camera, the beginning is a little slow. Get past the beginning, get to the point where you're actually starting to do missions, and it really kind of opens up. So I think you'll have fun with it.
Yeah, I hope so.
Nice. So guys,
I blame you.
If you have played Stellar Blade, or if you're playing it on PC, leave in the comments down below. So with that off the top out of the way, let's move into our main story, and that is the Donkey Kong Bananza Direct just launched. It's a Nintendo Direct. It was all focused on the Donkey Kong game for the Switch 2. It aired on June 18th, 2025 at 6 a.m., and it was about 15 minutes long, and it's showing off the game Donkey Kong Bonanza that's launching on July 17th, 2025. So we're not really going to dissect the whole 15 minutes. We're kind of going to get into the highlights of it. Gamatsu has a really good breakdown of it, and we'll kind of just do it and recap our thoughts. But before we dive into it, overall, how'd you like the Direct? I looked at it as, 15 minutes, plenty of time to show off everything, because there was a lot of question marks. I'm like, is this game... A lot of people are looking at it going, is it kind of a spiritual successor to Mario Odyssey? Are they going to take a path that's more kind of like Breath of the Wild? And I think it kind of it leans on a little bit of both of them, and we get to see a lot. So I thought the Direct showed off plenty.
No, I agree. I thought when they first showed it and they kind of, introduced it, you're kind of thinking, okay, what's the identity of this game? Yeah. What are they going to do? Right?
How big is it going to be?
Exactly. Artwork, all that stuff. And it's like, okay, they didn't show too much of it, but it kind of gets you intrigued on what's about to happen or what they're going to show. I'm glad they did this Direct to kind of give you a bit more of idea, because if owning, I think one of the biggest things for people was what games are coming for the Nintendo Switch 2, especially only releasing with the Mario Kart. Right. This game is it. Like, I haven't been more excited for a Donkey Kong game in a very long time. But I mean, this Direct showed quite a bit for sure.
Yes, me and Sam were watching it, and we were kind of hesitant on the Switch 2. I think even in the last episode, I was like, maybe I'll wait later for holiday. Once we were watching, we're like, no, I'll buy it tomorrow as soon as I can find it, because it looks fantastic. And I know a lot of people, like you were saying, a lot of people were like, day one, what games are launching for it. You could raise an eyebrow and be like, why didn't this launch with the Switch 2, right? You have Mario Kart and you have Donkey Kong. But I think, and you look at how well Nintendo Switch sold with just Mario Kart. And now a month later, Donkey Kong's going to drop. So everyone that didn't get it on the day one, like me, is going to be the person next in line to buy it on round 2. So I think it was actually a pretty smart move.
Yeah, it's a smart move. I mean, it intrigues you a little bit more, right? Yeah. Like people that were kind of in the fence like you, maybe saying, okay, maybe this game is going to be the one that makes me want to get a Switch 2, right? Mm-hmm. If it's not this one, maybe it's Kirby. Ooh. That's coming right after that, right? Or Prime, Metro Prime when it comes out. So I think they did a good job laying it out, the foundation, saying, okay, we're going to tease you with this, see how good Cyberpunk looks and all that stuff. But then we're gonna drop Bananza a month later.
Yeah, I think if they play it smart and have some of their big launches just sprinkled out instead of just being like, hey, a lot in the first quarter and then a lot in like the holiday season, these kind of peppered out games is going to do really good for at least the first year of the lifespan of the system. So
100%.
Looking forward to it. So guys, let's kind of get into what it showed off. And so Nintendo released new information, footage, and screenshots for 3D platforming action-adventure game Donkey Kong Bonanza during a dedicated Nintendo Direct broadcast, revealing details on the game's story, abilities, transformations, cooperative play, collectibles, and more. So we'll get into the first part of it, and it's kind of showing off the new ways that you can move around and what DK is actually capable of doing, which is new ways to smash and bash. I was looking at this earlier. This whole thing seems like chapters in a sex book. New ways to smash and bash, Bonanza transformations, and cooperative play. So Nintendo, I see you out there. So, smash and bash. As Donkey Kong, you will be able to utilize powerful abilities to smash your way through obstacles and enemies and even unearth discoveries. Use Dive Punch to drill deep into the earth, roll yourself over obstacles, and perform a hand slap to help locate hidden items. You can also tear off chunks of ground to either throw at enemies or ride on top of by turf surfing and more. These abilities can even be combined for maximum mayhem. So, well, I mean, we've all played Donkey Kong games. You're used to kind of the pound. I think what a lot of people were wondering is how does that translate onto a game? Like, what can you do with it? And the game is, I think this Direct showed off a lot more than I think we were expecting. The game looks huge. It kind of goes into these underground biomes and showing off what he can do with the hand claps and all that things. The turf surfing is really cool. It doesn't look like there's going to be a dull moment in this game.
No, and I think they did a good job, right? Because I hope that they would show quite a bit on it because it comes out less than a month from now. Right
around the corner.
I think the fact that you think of Donkey Kong like this whole powerful being, right, in the Mario world, the fact that you can break the ground, break some cliffs, kind of showed you can break a whole freaking mountain if you want.
Yeah,
to. Took the time to do it.
Yeah,
I thought that was super cool.
Because it was like a head, and he smashed the whole thing out, and obviously you're going to be able to dig around and look for things. We'll get into collectibles in a bit, but I'm just curious because it says you can dig down as far as like the ground stable for, but like I'm curious of like if there's something up on a hill, are you able to maybe screw yourself if you break it too much? Like, you know what I mean? Like, is there going to be a regenerative factor to be like, oh, it'll come back in case you need to go up there, or do you think it's just going to be set in stone once you break it all set in stone that it's done?
Yeah, and I think that's one of the creative things, right? Like, what are you doing in this open world to do it? Because you're not going to know every single time what's underneath or what's hidden behind this wall, using your sonar. And the fact that you're able to build the Donkey Kong the way that you want to play him, which I thought was super cool.
Way cool.
Maybe when you travel to these other biomes, like, when you travel back, that, that structure is kind of rebuilt back.
Oh, that'd be a cool way to do it.
But I think they're going to find a way to kind of bring it back if you miss something, if it's, has something to do with a collectible. But either way, I think I'm excited for it.
Or maybe later on there's a part where you can rest. Maybe resting will kind of reset it.
Yeah, they did bring that up too, where you can kind of create your own little
nap area.
Yeah, nap area.
Maybe Craigie loves a good nap.
Yeah, trust me, I know today.
So I also want to point out, it looks like not only is this going to help you traverse and destroy the land, the way it's going to introduce them with combat. I kind of wish they showed a little more on the combat, but I think I've seen plenty. And the fact that you can now rip things off of enemies and throw it at them, you can now use the ground to fight with them. It seems like there's going to be a lot of different abilities. Because Mario, when you play a Mario game, it's a lot of power-ups, where Donkey Kong is built in with kind of all the moves he's going to do, and later on we get into like equipment, you're just going to be able to kind of expand on that.
Yeah, and I even like the fact that they did the exact same thing they did with Mario Odyssey, right? They have this Explorer mode, I forgot what they called it, where maybe the younger generation
the assist mode kind of
can have fun with it too. But the fact that you can rip off a boulder's enemy's head off, a cool chunk of it, and throw it back at him, I thought that was creative and cool.
Nice. So we'll move into the next part, which is the Bonanza transformations. While this unlikely duo explores, and again, we'll get into the duo. It's pretty much Donkey Kong teamed up with Pauline, and we'll get into the cooperative play next. But while this unlikely duo explores the underground world, Pauline can enhance Donkey Kong's destructive ability and even make him temporarily transform through the power of her singing. Collecting gold builds up their Bananergy, which allows Pauline's singing to activate the transformations, each with its own specialties. Like Kong Bonanza, that makes Donkey Kong super strong, Zebra Bonanza, which makes him faster and lets him dash for short distances, and Ostrich Bonanza, that allows DK to fly and drop egg bombs on enemies. So yeah, this I'm imagining this is going to be the main focus of the game. That each of these little biomes is going to have an elder that you have to go meet, and then after completing the area, they're going to transfer you their power, and you can transform into them. Really cool idea. I love the only thing that was weird with Donkey Kong is because in this game he has the overalls. In the old Donkey Kong, which is what he kind of turns into, he doesn't have his butt cheek showing. Yeah. And when they turn him into the big monkey, they really shaved his ass on that one. But how do you like the idea of them, of him being able to transform, power up, and turn into different animals and use different abilities?
Yeah, I thought it's super creative. Like, the fact that you're not able to use those powers as much as people might think, there's a time.
Yeah, it's a cooldown time.
Yeah, but the ability to be able to transform in a sequence to every single one of these abilities to kind of use them and be creative with it, I thought was super cool. It just brings a different element on this game. You thought it was just about breaking stuff.
Yes.
Kind of going, kind of like that funny thing about the Super Mario Bros. Movie, right? It was like, I'm more than a monkey that just breaks things, right?
Yes. Perfect.
So it kind of brings up like this new abilities that you're able to do. I thought it was super cool and creative. I'm kind of excited for it too.
Yeah, I really like it because it's not only a way to traverse the world. You can also use it in boss battles. So it seems like you can turn into Big Donkey Kong to fight better. You're going to be able to do flying. The exploring kind of seems like the cooler thing. You see the zebra dash over. He can run on water. He can run past melting ice. I was kind of thinking, and I wanted your opinion on it. It looks like they showed off the 3. But I'd argue there's probably going to be about 3 to 5 more that you're going to collect, get different abilities. And I was kind of thinking maybe what could they be? I was thinking there's probably because it says earlier Donkey Kong can do a roll. He's probably going to find an animal that does a bigger version of it, like an armadillo or something. If they stick to some of the old animals that you can ride in, or turn into in Donkey Kong Country, I'm thinking maybe they'll do an end guard, which is the swordfish for maybe water levels. Because like what Sam was saying is you can be Donkey Kong and then switch to the zebra and then switch to the ostrich. So maybe the more you collect, the cooler it'll be. And then I'm thinking there might be something with a bigger range, and I'm thinking maybe like a frog who can do like a tongue dash to hit something, or maybe spit something out. But I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on any other animals or something?
If they do, I mean, it's
maybe a bat with sonar or something.
And it's a month in before this whole game, right? Less than a month before this game comes out. I thought they showed what was going to be there. If they do, I would probably say maybe 2 more. Okay. I like the idea of the swordfish or the end guard. I think that would be cool because there's a biome where it's a lot of water and not just running on it with a zebra, right? I think that would be pretty cool, and I think the armadillo would be a kind of cool touch too. So I don't know if they will add it. I'd be surprised if they did, but those 2 would probably be my top choice if they did do it.
Nice, yeah, because I think there is going to be a couple more. I don't think they showed us all, but whether or not it's going to be 2 more to 5 more, we'll see. Yeah. The more the merrier, I think, because it'd be cool to see different abilities. Yeah. But again, I mean, with what the world can do, we'll see how much can actually be done. So the other part that was really caught a lot of people's eyes is that there's cooperative play. Mm-hmm. By sharing a Joy-Con 2 controller, you and a friend can control Donkey Kong and Pauline separately in local cooperative play. Unleash Pauline's vocal blast using the Joy-Con 2 controller's mouse functionality. You can also use Game Share 1 to share the game and play in cooperative play with another player locally, even if they don't have the game themselves, and use Game Chat to invite friends online to join you via voice or video chat. So, say what you want about Nintendo, whether you like their games, whether you don't, but there's no arguing that Nintendo is doing the absolute best to bring back couch co-op together, online co-op. Nintendo, I mean, they didn't have to do this. This could just be a side character, but to add on, hey, if you're sitting there playing, join in on the fun. Even if you don't have the game, you can pull out 2 Switches. So I think it's fantastic. I know Sam, when she was watching, she's like, "Yeah, cool. Let's play it together." So I think it's a cool thing they didn't have to do. And I welcome it, and it's a really cool way they did it, giving it to another player pretty much for free.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that example they showed, it's a regular Switch, so it's not even a Switch 2.
Yeah,
it's not even a Switch to OLED, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So I think that's super cool. The fact that you're able to do that with someone that might not be fortunate enough to have a Switch 2 or not be able to get one because they're sold out everywhere. The fact that you can share Bananza into a Switch 1 and then you guys can play co-op, I think that's super cool. I think that just brings a whole new version of, like you mentioned, co-op gaming where you guys can just chill on the couch and play. I'm excited for that too because I have a 4-year-old that's gotten into gaming. He loves playing that stuff. He has a Switch 1. Don't think I'm going to get him a Switch 2 just because only
but he can be player 2.
But he can be player 2, and I think he would enjoy this type of game. And I think that would be super cool that I'm able to do that too.
Yeah, and it'd be cool too. Like if you were playing it, and I have my Switch one, I'm like,
Yeah.
and it's a good way to introduce somebody into it and be like, oh, let me play player 2, and I'm like, oh, I actually really enjoy this. Now let me go buy number 1. Yeah, perfect marketing. Yeah. Built-in marketing. Yeah, built-in marketing.
Because it's not like you can, you own the game sharing it, right? But you give them a taste of it. It's like. It's like a drug.
Yeah, I was just that's how we learned it from the streets, baby.
Now I want more, so now I'm going to go buy a Nintendo Switch. God damn Nintendo.
Yeah, so kudos to them for that. I think it's a really cool idea. Next is they have Race to the Planet Core, which is kind of what the story's about. Legend has it the Planet Core has the ability to grant your heart's desire, so Donkey Kong and Pauline set off on a quest to reach it. Pauline hopes he'll be able to return her to the surface, while Donkey Kong plans to ask it for more. What else? Bananas. Unfortunately, they aren't the only ones seeking the Planet Core. The Void Company is also racing there for their own nefarious purposes. A villainous mining operation whose reach extends through every layer of the planet. Voidco is not only responsible for the banana-stealing maelstrom that sent Donkey Kong hurtling underground in the first place, but they are also responsible for turning Pauline into Odd Rock. As they all dig deeper towards the Planet Core, Donkey Kong and Pauline must do whatever they can to get there first. So, with that being said, I don't know how much the Odd Rock's going to come into play, because if it's nothing more than just the opening act of the game, then they kind of ruined it, showing up who's the Odd Rock? I'm like, we didn't even play the game yet. We didn't even know there was an Odd Rock. So I don't know how much more that's going to come into play. As far as the storyline goes, I mean, who's really playing a Donkey Kong game for the story? Although I do think it sounds like a cool idea, and I think the Void Company was kind of a cool bad guy setup, I guess. Yeah. So, I mean, not much more. What do you have to think about the story and Pauline and the Void Co?
And there might be something deeper to that, right?
I hope there is.
Yeah, and you have Mario Odyssey, who the 3 other villains are Mad Hatters, pretty much, right? And then you have Bowser, who's trying to steal Peach. So maybe there's something deeper than just the Void Company, but the fact that they each do different things in each different level, that when you beat them, that you can use those abilities to your advantage for.
Yeah, I do like that.
I thought that was super cool, but like you mentioned, that Odd Rock thing kind of like threw me off. I was like, okay, did we watch the whole opening sequence and now we know what, Pauline's whole thing? But I mean, you never know with these type of games. Yeah. They probably hold off. Like you mentioned, there might be 2 to 5 other abilities that you're gonna do. That's why the game's gonna take maybe a open world aspect to it. So. I'm excited for it for sure.
I was going to say, too, because there's a lot of speculation, because clearly this Pauline looks younger.
Yeah.
And so maybe the Odd Rock is something that maybe switched her back and did something, but there's speculation that it is a prequel to Mario Odyssey. Clearly we know that they're all in the same world, but Pauline is older in Mario Odyssey. So
working in a city as a club.
Or standing outside singing. And I know singing is going to be a part of it, and I know they showed it off in the Direct. But I feel like it's going to be a bigger part than what we actually got to see. Obviously, she can do this ability to unlock certain things. But I thought it was a really cool team up that they're going to team up Donkey Kong back with Pauline, which is the original person from the original Donkey Kong.
And I mean, super cool concept. I mean, you always get the Diddy and Donkey Kong team up and all this stuff. When I first saw the Direct,
actually, that's a good point. Yeah.
When I saw Pauline, I was like, oh, okay, this is different. Yeah. This is bringing it back to maybe its roots and then just bringing a new aspect to it. So I'm excited for sure.
I like all of that. So let's move into collectibles, which is going to be a big aspect of the game. While you dig your way through the underground world, you'll discover useful items to help you along your journey. Uncover golden bananas called Banandium gems buried behind walls, under the ground, and sometimes right in the open. Collecting these Banandium gems will earn you skill points that increase DK's power and even allows you to learn new skills to add to your repertoire. You can also earn Banandium, I hate that everything has a banana, gems through challenges like time battles, side-scrolling stages, obstacle courses, and more. You will also uncover banana side-scrolling stages, obstacle courses, banana slice-shaped items called Banandium chips and gold nuggets called Banandium gold. You can trade Banandium chips for Banandium gems at the chip exchange and Banandium gold for useful items at the stuff shop. As you dig for these banana-shaped goodies, you may also discover fossils. If you happen to find one during your excavations, take them to the style shops and trade them for different fashions for Donkey Kong and Pauline. Almost all of them come with useful extra benefits as well as fur colors for DK. This to me was kind of the silent hit for me. Yeah. It looks like they added a cool RPG mechanic in terms of giving you something to collect to then get skill abilities. And they showed, for an example, like when he does his ground pound, right? There's one version of it that you don't see nothing nearby. But if you invest points into the sonar, you can start seeing things that are buried and hidden. So let's start with the RPG aspect first. And then they added, because a lot of people were mad that Donkey Kong added the overalls. They're like, oh, that's not the look. But if you dive into it now and you can see that unlocking different outfits gives you different abilities, well, then they have to give them clothes to represent the change. So how do you like the aspect of it? It's not just a game where you're running around pounding. It's like you can actually get skill points, level up, and make your own, like you were talking earlier, your own version of Donkey Kong.
Yeah, and I think they hit, every single age group, right? You have an age group that maybe just wants to play the story mode.
Right.
Plays through it, doesn't really care about the other stuff. Will find, like it mentions there, right? You'll find... that gold anywhere to kind of help you turn into, this Bananza kind of, character and all that stuff with Pauline. But then it gives an aspect, for the older people like us.
Yeah.
RPG. Finding these things, trading it, getting new, skin colors, fur colors for both Pauline and Donkey Kong. I thought that was super cool. What interests me the most was the RPG aspect of it, of where you're getting all these points and now you're building him.
Yes, like I love this. As soon as I saw it, I was like, yes.
Yeah, so it's like strength or it's sonar or if it's speed, whatever it is, it's like, okay, you can build it the way you want to play. Maybe you want to be an explorer and then, hit the sonar and then find all these hidden things, right? Maybe you just want to bash your things and just break things a lot faster and a lot better. And, you kind of equip them to that. But I thought that was super cool, super creative. And it just kind of gives me I was like, okay, I want to keep on playing this game.
Yeah, good. Well said, because it looks like they're giving you more to do in the game. The game isn't just going to be a run and done. It's like, hey, go get this ability so you can go explore this. So it looks like not only is, getting to the end of the game of aspect, but like they're really encouraging you to go explore and use different abilities to do it, which is awesome. But the other thing they have is the side-scrolling ability, and that's one part I was looking at. I'm like, dude, yes, they throw back the old school like Super Nintendo style Donkey Kong of being able to do 2D platforming and things like that, which is another thing. I'm like, they didn't have to do it. And again, it doesn't seem like you have to go find all the collectibles to get to the end of the game, but it's there if you do want to try to 100% it. And adding that element is something that's just really cool as a throwback.
Yeah, and it's just a satisfaction if maybe you just fall upon one of these faults or these, time events and all this stuff that you're able to do. It's just like, it's an extra like cherry on top, right? Like now you're doing some old school stuff that you probably weren't even thinking of, that you're like playing the game. You're like, oh, okay, now I can go do this and then, get this done. Yeah. And then keep on playing.
And they were even showing the map. The map has like locations, so you can actually, if it comes across where you can go explore it, it's like, oh, let's mark it on your map and let's go back and find it. Yeah. And how to find it.
Exactly. So I thought they did a good job on that too.
I liked it a lot. So, other new and familiar faces. While uncovering more about the villainous activities of the Void Company, Donkey Kong and Pauline encounter many inhabitants across the underground world. In addition to the giant elders, familiar faces like Cranky Kong and his companion Rambi show up. You'll also come face to face with Grumpy Kong, Boppy Kong, and others who work for the Void Co. leader, Void Kong. So, I don't know if there's too much to say on that. It's cool that Donkey Kong, it's still making you sure that you're in his world and you're starting to see familiar faces. So.
Yeah, it's a story focused on Donkey Kong, and the other stuff, it's like an extra plus knowing Easter eggs if it has to do with Mario and all that stuff. But the fact that it's just building it on his like world, super cool.
And if you watch the direct, there's 2 different points where you actually get to see Diddy Kong and Dixie Kong. So I'm curious how much of a role they're going to play, or maybe they're only tied into challenges and things like that. Because I want to see Funky Kong. I want to see Kitty Kong and things like that too. So
I would love to see them, but I like the duo of Pauline and Donkey Kong, so I'm happy with them. If they're part of the challenges or a little help here and there, that's cool. But I like the difference of what this game's going to bring.
Most excellent. We mentioned this kind of a little bit earlier as the getaways, but they also have the elevators. Need a break? Treat yourself to a getaway while you're in the underground world and sleep in a comfy bed to help restore your energy. You can even choose some music to enjoy while you rest. And if you want to explore areas you've already been to with ease, use the elevators, subterranean eels that can carry you quickly from layer to layer. So the elevators acts as the fast travel system, which as soon as I saw that, I'm like, yes, dude, they know this is a big game. Let's make it easy. As far as the need a break thing, maybe that is something that kind of resets the world if you want to go bash something again. Because, if there's an idea of you can smash that rock out, you're like, oh, man, I wish that was still in my world. Maybe there is a way to kind of bring it back. But I really like the idea is, like, sit back and enjoy some music. Because when you're watching the direct, dude, they brought back all the old songs, and they were banging, bro.
Old songs, new songs from the Mario movie, the DK.
Yeah, dude, I was sitting there like, DK.
Yeah, so they brought up all these great things. I was like, dude, this is super cool. Like, just want to, like, enjoy the getaway, relax, nap or whatever, right?
Have a banana.
If it does it, have a banana, and then listen to some cool tunes is pretty awesome.
Yeah, again, I feel like they're just adding more and more. And then here's another one to just add icing on the cake is creative game modes.
Yeah.
Get ready to explore new game modes and ways to play Donkey Kong Bonanza. This includes photo mode, where you can change the in-game camera angle and adjust other settings to help to snap your ideal pick. And in DK Artist, you can use the Joy-Con 2 mouse controls to take a break from the action and carve designs into stone. You can even change the lighting and add banana effects to give your masterpiece its finishing touches. Now, I don't really use photo mode. I know it's really hot. I know everyone likes it. And it looked really cool, the filters you could put on it. So I hope people have a lot of fun with that. But as soon as I saw the DK Artist, that instantly took me back to like Mario Paint 64 when you're stretching out his nose, Mario Party and carving out the rocks. So it's a whole separate little mini game you can do that's a lot of fun, and 2 players can sit there and mess with it. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, I thought that was super cool too. I mean, it's one of those things where you're bored with the open world, have some fun, paint, right?
Yeah, you can pop it on and not play the game. You can do this.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it was cool because it was like Bowser's head, Mario's head, Donkey Kong. So I wonder how much they're actually going to show.
And you can structure it the way you want to and
color it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mario Paint style, like you said. Nice. So another cool little addition. And then finally, they have the Amiibo edition. Mm-hmm. Donkey Kong Bonanza also supports Amiibo, which is still really cool. Something they brought that was, I think, started on like the 3DS. Yeah. They did it on the Wii U. So it's cool that it's still happening on the Switch because you put the characters on the touchscreen. A Donkey Kong and Pauline Amiibo figure will be available July 17th, and it allows you to unlock Pauline's in-game Diva dress early and receive Kong tiles with explosive power. Scan other Donkey Kong character Amiibo figures, and you will also earn gold Kong tiles. What's more, if you scan any other available Amiibo, you'll receive a giant sphere of terrain material to aid you on your adventure. Now, I thought it was really cool. I think there was either 5 to 6 of them, different ones. The only thing that I thought was weird is all the ones of Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong and Pauline is Donkey Kong in the tie. I didn't see one that had him in the overalls.
Yeah, and I think the overall thing is an in-game thing that you're going to get by, customizing him. I think he's going to come with just a tie or maybe
in
just
the beginning and stuff.
I think that's how it's going to be done, but I thought the Amiibo thing was super cool. I think the fact that if you do already have Amiibos, you can utilize them. It's not going to give you some crazy stuff, but a sphere that you can use to break through something if you're kind of stuck or need some assistance with it. So I thought that was cool, but it kind of...
You gonna buy it?
I want to.
I thought it looked pretty dope.
I want to, but God, man, I know that thing's going to go by quick, and to have the time to sit and freaking battle 10-year-olds on Best Buy, dude. Buy that thing online.
Do you still collect Amiibos at all? Because it is still kind of a cool toy. I have some sitting over there. I have my Final Fantasy ones, but I kind of forgot about Amiibos, and I thought it was a really cool reminder that, hey, they're still out there.
I have the Zelda ones, but I did buy the little chips that they sell.
Oh, okay.
That you can just freaking do it quickly. So I did do that, but I do have the ones that I feel like are important. Like I have my Zelda ones, Wind Waker, stuff like that, that I have, but... I mean, I'm not going to lie. I do have those things just so I can it's a quick and easy chest opening.
And I like that it said any Amiibo because it's like, even if you have something from Fire Emblem, right? You don't need a Mario one. You don't need a Donkey Kong one. Any Amiibo will be able to be functional in the game. So, really cool. That's kind of the highlights of it. Overall thoughts, it's definitely got banger music. I mean, we talked about that. And it like Cien's pointed out earlier, if you were on the fence about even getting a Switch 2, this is a killer app for this system. And it definitely changed Sam and I's mind of, okay, let's get it sooner than Christmas and birthdays. Let's get it next month as soon as we can find it.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously, depending on where you live, it's going to be difficult to find. I found the Switch 2 pretty easily at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, we were texting, and you're like, I'm just going to fucking roll the dice and walk in and get it, and no big deal, right?
Yeah, so, I mean, I was lucky to find it there. I mean, if I find it, out there, I'll let you guys know, and I can always...
Actually, I didn't even think about that. If you can, you can. I should ask Bianca, too, if she gets any. If she gets her hands in any cookie jars. So, guys, if you checked out the Direct, or you haven't yet, go do so on YouTube, and let us know your thoughts down below. So, any other thing you want to add on Donkey Kong?
No, I'm excited for it. If you guys weren't, again, if you guys were on the fence for it, I think this is a game that,
the time to act now.
Yeah. Do it now. It's only going to get, I feel, more expensive or even more time-consuming to try to even get one. So I think they're doing restocks at Walmart on the 25th or something online. So
I will be trying to get that out. So with that, guys, done it out of the way, let's move into questions of the week. If you guys want to submit a question that we can answer on the show, you can do so a couple different ways. You can email us at lastcallproductions@gmail.com. You can add a comment in any of the YouTube videos, and we can find it there. or you can find me on social media at Craig Perales, and I can take it there. So our first question comes from Casey Pokemon, good friend of the show, fellow YouTuber.
Love Casey.
Loves some Case.
Loves.
Hey, hey, just in case, it's Casey. He writes, my question is, with the Switch 2 announcement, what Nintendo IP game are you guys most looking forward to playing? Either something already announced we know is on the way, or if there is a speculation game, i.e. Mario Odyssey 2, the next Smash, etc. Or even a pie-in-the-sky hopeful creation that Nintendo may drop on the Switch 2. Maybe a new Mario RPG, including Link, DK, Samus, maybe Pikachu. That would be epic. It's so funny that you say that, and because there was a long time ago, a buddy of mine, Michael Shockley, he was starting to do a podcast, but it was like Hot Ones, but he made it was Bullhead Hot Ones. And he was going to do it every episode with a YouTuber in town. And I was the first guest. So I did all the Hot Ones challenges like you see on Sean Evans' show. And my drink, he asked me what I wanted. I said, just give me a Jack and Coke and a Kona Big Wave or whatever beer. And I did it. What's unfortunate is I think since he stopped doing the channel, it was really hard for him to do it because I think he did 2 or 3 episodes. I think he took it down, and I went back on my old laptop. I don't have it anymore, so it sucks because I wish I saw that video. So it's cool to say I've done the Hot One challenge, but he asked me a similar question. This is before Switch 2, and my answer was, I want an RPG, whether that's Super Mario RPG or if it's something that's more tactics like Mario and Rabbids. And my exact thing that I said was, I want a game with Mario, Donkey Kong, and Link, and I don't know why Nintendo, with all the RPGs that they're capable of doing, I don't know why they don't lean more into it, because you watch, things right now, like Clair Obscur, like RPGs, I don't want to say they ever went anywhere, but I think a lot of bread and butter, a lot of old school gamers really like it, and I think that they should incorporate more crossovers, and I think we're slowly starting to see that with Nintendo. There is a lot more crossovers, and I'm hoping that an RPG would be next. So yes, Casey, you had my exact idea. That is what I want. Cien, as far as a new game or just looking forward to something that might be on its way, obviously the next Smash is highly anticipated. Odyssey 2 is highly anticipated. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I never thought about the answer you gave. That would be actually pretty cool. You have all these IPs. Might as well just throw
make
a
big
out
crossover.
There. And if it fails, it fails. But at least
why Smash Bros. Is the only one that's a big crossover like that? Obviously, you have the sports games, but why not any other genre?
Yeah. So for me, honestly, because I feel like we've been waiting for such a long time, and I just went back and replayed the Metroid Prime when they remastered it or remade it for the Switch, is Prime 4. Just give it to me already.
Just give it to me, baby.
I would gladly pay the $80 now that the game is cost, or $90, whatever it is. But it's been, 4 years at this point that they've announced this game. Mm-hmm. And
it's looking better every time I see it.
They finally showed gameplay. They finally showed the mechanics that you can use the mouse with it. I'm just excited for that game. I'm a big Metroid Prime fan. I thought, the fact that they released it 4 years ago, that this game is coming out, I thought we were going to get it 2 years ago. I thought we were going to get it last year. I'm excited they finally, showed footage, and we're getting it this year. So just get me Prime 4.
Okay, prime him up, baby. So
I'm ready.
Excellent question. Thank you. Leave your guys' answers down below. Since we are running a tad long, I'm going to save some of the questions that we had for next week and just get into end it with what are you up to? If you guys have made it to this portion of the show, this is what are you up to, where we take a second to talk about anything we've been playing and what we've been watching. So Cien, as a guest on the show, what have you been up to, my sir?
For shows, I talked to you a little bit about this, but I've been watching Andor. Mm-hmm. Someone put me on it saying, it's probably the best Star Wars, non-series kind of thing to watch, and I've loved it. I think I've slowly been watching. I'm on episode 7 or 9. Okay. I want to say I'm close to the end of season 1.
Are they 10 episodes?
Yeah, 12 episodes.
Okay, good. Thank God.
So I loved it. I thought it's completely different from what they've done before. I thought it was super creative. I love the political aspect of it. Done right. Yeah. It's just an awesome. And I love Rogue One. I'm a sucker for that.
That's your favorite, you said, yeah?
It's my favorite new project that they did, yeah. Nice. So I'm happy that I started it. I want to finish it because I heard great things about season 2. Yeah. So that's what I've been watching.
Yeah, season 2, I just was reading that it set their streaming record for Disney Plus. So it's fantastic. TK has been on my ass about watching it. I've gotten to episode 3, but obviously, hearing from you, because it did start a little slow, but I know it gets better. So now after hearing from you that it's a must, and that'll be a show I get back on, dude. Yeah. So what have you been playing?
Playing ever since I got
my Switch 2.
I know, Switch 2. My favorite Zelda game of all time is Wind Waker. So I've been playing Wind Waker again on the GameCube, version of it that they have on the Switch 2. Love that game.
Flawless.
Brought me back to what I used to play back in GameCube. When a GameCube wasn't working, I was banging that thing to turn it on. But Wind Waker, I've been playing it. I think I'm like 10 hours in, barely on the second island, because I've been exploring everything that I could. So it's an amazing game. If you guys haven't had a chance to play Wind Waker, if you have an old GameCube, play it. If you don't, grab a Nintendo Switch 2 and play it. It's an amazing game. Loved it.
Yeah, it was one of the games I missed because I didn't play a lot on GameCube. My old roommate had one, but I don't remember playing it. So after hearing what your thoughts on it, that'll be one I definitely jump into.
It's an amazing game for sure.
Perfect. As far as what I've been up to, watching, Sam and I just went to go see the new How to Train Your Dragon, which is the live action one. It's doing pretty solid. Metacritic 61, 77%. Rotten Tomatoes 8.1 on IMDb. It's came out on June 13th, 2025. It is a kind of shot-for-shot remake of the original How to Train Your Dragon, which at this point is decades old. And it's pretty good, man. The kid that plays Hiccup doesn't sound like Jay Barthenol, whatever his name is, all the time. But in the beginning, we have dragons. Like, his voice sounded pretty good. Obviously, Gerard Butler comes back as Stoic the Vast. I was kind of curious because when you saw some of the original trailers, it looked kind of Comic-Con-y, like they're just wearing these outfits. But when it actually gets to be on theater, it looked fantastic. The dragons is kind of what I was mostly anticipating because they kept the cartoony look of them, but made them still look real at the same time. Yeah. So Toothless looks badass. The ending, I won't spoil anything for you if you haven't seen the original. The ending, when you get to see a lot more dragons, was epic. I went to go see it in the Riverside. Generally, we don't get packed theaters. This has been the most packed theater I've seen in a while. There was points where the dragons were yelling that little kids started crying. Oh. So it was a good one, man. And I wanted to point out that it did really well. The live-action remake of How to Train Your Dragon soared to a fiery debut at the box office, opening to a franchise best of $83.7 million domestically and an impressive $197.8 million globally, according to Sunday estimates. The film's success marks a major win for Universal and DreamWorks Animation, delivering one of the year's biggest openings and the highest ever for the series. I know it took out Lilo and Stitch for being the number 1 movie. I don't want to say which one's doing better because there's still more weeks for it to do. And what did you say?
It sucked.
Lilo and Stitch, the remake? I'm okay, because I asked Sam, I'm like, which one do you want to go see? Because I only really want to go see one of them. Do you want to see Lilo and Stitch or How to Train Your Dragon? But we recently just watched 1 and 2 in preparation for the new movie. And after we watched the movie, we went home because number 3 wasn't streaming for a while. And it is, I think all of them are now on Peacock. So then I watched number 3. So I'm glad I went to go see How to Train Your Dragon. But you didn't care for Lilo and Stitch?
No. I mean, I
No.
I think I told you this too. Like, the biggest gripe for people on these remakes is, why is it not pretty much a copy and paste with a few little changes to it?
Right, like Lion King.
Yeah, right. But the fact that this is a copy and paste and people are still having issues that it's a copy and paste and why it's a live action is beyond me.
Yeah.
But I'm glad, like you said, that it was a great movie. Everything looked good. I want to go see it. My kid loves the cartoon ones.
Do it.
So I want to take them. It's just the Lilo and Stitch one was just like, dude,
bad taste.
If we can get dragons on the big screen that still look cartoonish, why couldn't we get freaking,
Stitch?
Yeah, Stitch like that, or the, what is it? Why am I drawing a blank on
the aliens?
Bleakley?
Okay.
Why do I have to get a freaking actual actor that they transform with some
CGI
technology? You know what I mean? It's just like beyond me, but I'm excited. I'm happy you liked it.
Nice. Well, I'm glad I chose the right one, and really good for DreamWorks. This is their first live action adaptation. Obviously, Disney's kind of really big on that. They got a lot of IP to pick from, but they were kind of nervous rolling the dice and saying, let's see who's, because How to Train Your Dragon is an older movie. Yeah. Who's going to come back and watch it, and is there still going to be a new audience for it? And clearly the answer is yes. So I'm now definitely looking forward.
Have you seen the 3 of them?
Yes, I saw 1 and 2 maybe a month or 2 ago, and we just watched number 3
one of the best series I've ever seen.
Dude, pound for pound, How to Train Your Dragon is an animation, whether you want to compare it to Shrek or things like that, dude. How to Train Your Dragon is awesome, and the way it develops, the way they get older, and the way Hiccup gets more badass with the flaming sword.
Kids,
yes, I love it.
Yeah, like if it wasn't Toy Story, it'd be How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah, toys. Yeah,
so
hard to compete with the best.
Yeah, exactly.
It's up there.
What I mean, so dude, I'm happy you loved it. I'm excited that they already said there was a sequel coming for it too. So it just makes me want to rewatch the third one because I think it's been a minute since I've watched the third one.
Yeah, right. And it was the first time I saw. And the actors they picked to play all the characters are pretty spot on. Obviously, there's some slight differences people had issues with, but there's a part in the movie where they're like, hey, you know, we have different. It's not all white Norse Vikings. It's like dragons have been such a thing across the world that all of our clans from all across the world have been pulling in. So it's an easy fix. Yeah. It's one line of dialogue. Yeah. So that's what I've been watching. If you guys get a chance to watch it, go see it in theater because, dude, when the dragons are roaring, that Dolby surround sound was fucking booming. So I had a blast watching it. As far as what I've been playing, I'm still playing Planet of Lana. I think that was the game. And I'm on chapter 9 out of 12, so I'm almost done with that. But as far as a new game, there's a game called Lost in Random, The Eternal Die, which is a sequel to the game Lost in Random, which came out in 2021. It was a really cool game. It has to do with like dice rolls, and this queen runs this world, and there's different worlds, like there's Fiveopolis and Fordom and things like that. Yeah. So you beat that game, and at the end, the queen has this conundrum because she has this black dice, and she's not sure what's going to happen with it. When you play Lost in Random, The Eternal Die, it picks up right from there where the queen... Well, I guess I don't want to say anything if it's going to spoil the number one. I'll just say this. The game is... the queen is now warped inside of a world, and she's lost all of her powers. So it's let me read this real quick to get you just caught up. Eternal Die blends dynamic real-time action, tactical combat, and risk-reward dice mechanics for thrilling second-to-second battles. Unravel an original standalone story as Queen Alexandra, the once great ruler of Random, on a mission for vengeance and redemption, developed by Stormteller Games, published by Thunderful Group. And it's a roguelike kind of game. Like, it's like Hades, if you're familiar with that. Like, you're going to run in, you're going to try to clear as many dungeons as you can. Yeah. You're going to collect as much experience and currency as you can. But when you die, you start back from the beginning, and now you level up, and now you try to do the run again. Yeah. It's not as fast-paced and crazy as Hades was, because I played Hades, really enjoyed it, looking forward to Hades 2. Yeah. It's more of an introductory game. So if you're not a big fan of those games, I would say check it out. It's on the Game Pass. I would say play number 1 first, so you kind of just have a storyline of it, but you really don't need to. And it's a really good opening system where, like, I have 4 of the weapons unlocked. It's a sword, a bow, a spear, and a mace. Mm-hmm. But every weapon has 4 different things. So, for example, I'm using the bow. You have one that can do, like, a charge shot. You have another one that instead of having a long charge shot, you have one that ricochets. You have one that shoots 3 arrows, or you have one that shoots into a fire blast. Okay. So there's a lot of cool customizable things you can do with it. And as the game goes in, you can start acquiring allies and stuff to equip new abilities, and it's a lot of fun. It's a really interesting mechanics where there's not like a puzzle kind of system where you find these dice, and red, yellow, green, purple will give you different abilities, and you've got to like match them up. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. It's really customizable. I won't give too much away. Check it out. It just launched, but it's a lot of fun. I've beaten the first boss, the twins. And I've gotten to the frog. Hey, spoiler, baby. It's the first boss. And I've had a lot of fun with it. I don't know how far I'll get into it, but it's worth checking out. Yeah. So, I mean... Do you like games like that? Do you play Hades?
I play Hades. Love Hades.
I love Hades.
If you tell me it's like something like that, maybe
it's more of an intro version of it. Because Hades is fast-paced, quick, and there's a lot of RNG that goes into Hades, where this is kind of outside the map changing. It's a little more manageable. Yeah. So I think you would dig it. So... that is what I've been playing, guys. That's what I've been watching. Leave down in the comments below what you have been up to. And as far as that goes, guys, that is the end of this episode 217. Join us next time, guys, for episode 218. And until next time, my name is Craig Perales. That is Cien Vargas. Cheers.
Later, guys.